let's just do a safety overview for today because it's going to be a little bit unique to things we've done in the past. Everyone in this room, because we've got metal cutting going on and things, everyone's going to have at least impact goggles on everywhere. What we're going to be using is the area over by the fume hood. We're going to designate as the powder or the higher level of safety, because the investment that we're using is a fine white powder that has silicon dioxide in it, essentially fine particles of sand that's in there. But the particles are so fine that they have the potential to hurt your lungs because it will get into the little air sacs and they're sharp, they could puncture it. So to minimize that, we're going to do all measuring and mixing whenever the powder is dry in the fume hood, okay? To minimize your exposure. Now mostly that will take 90% of any risk because we're going to do it just in there. To minimize the risk though, we're also going to be using splash goggles, because that's not necessarily that we're doing it to worry about the water, but this will give us a better protection all around. Now for you, you're going to be using some of these what are called dust masks. Let me go over how you use these. All the dust masks we've got a couple different varieties, but they're all done essentially the same. They have two rubber bands, elastic bands to go through. What you do is you go them completely over your head, and then it goes this way. The top band goes to the top, kind of up like this. The bottom band goes to your neck. Now what happens is you have to make sure there's a good seal all the way around. It doesn't work unless you have a seal all the way around. To finalize the seal, this metal little bar you bend to adjust to your particular nose. And so you should have a little bit of pressure, and if you go in and out, you go, gosh, Mr. Wellman, it's a little bit more difficult to breathe. That's what it's supposed to be, because now you're breathing through the mask, which ensures you have minimal exposure to the dust particles. Okay, everybody with me on that? Now just so you're aware, when we go through, you notice my voice is a little bit hard to hear or understand. That's going to be one of the challenges. I want you to be aware, for me, because my exposure, I do this 4 times, and in every room there's 6 people doing it, and I've been doing this for 7 years. So my exposure level to this powder is significantly higher. So what I'm going to have is going to have a respirator on, which will give me additional perspective. It'll look like this, and this has a rubber one that goes around, but if you can tell, my volume goes down even more. So when I have it on like this, you're going to have to really pay attention to what I'm saying. Put your mask on first, and then put your eye protection over it, so you have it like that. Okay? This is how I'm going to be, so when you're trying to get instructions, you're going to have to be pretty close to me to be able to understand. Okay? What questions can I answer for you about our safety one? So if you're on this side of the room, you need to make sure that you have this safety equipment on. I am going to request that anyone who is mixing or working with the dry powder, they also have an apron today, because I want to minimize any exposure to your clothing as well. The little powder in there, I don't want it to take it out with you. Okay? So everyone who's doing the powder mixing or the powder measuring, I want you to have an apron on for just an extra level of protection. Okay.